And then one face that was missing during Keir Starmer's speech in Liverpool was that of his Defence Secretary, John Healey. I had been talking to him at breakfast, but he was suddenly called away soon after that to head back south to chair a meeting of COBRA, the Emergency Cabinet Committee, to discuss the very alarming news from Lebanon, where Israeli airstrikes have killed, it is now reported, 558 people, including 35 children. This feels like a new war beginning, but how's it going to stop? To speak about the situation on the ground in this beautiful, tragic and battered country, I'm joined now by Mr. Firass Abiad, the Minister for Public Health in Lebanon. Dr. Abiad, thank you very much indeed for joining LBC tonight. These are horrendous events. Can you just give me a sense of what is happening in Lebanese hospitals and on the streets tonight?
So the results of the indiscriminate attacks that occurred yesterday, we have reported the tally up till now is 569 people have been killed. This includes 50 children, 94 women. UNHCR has reported that 2 of its workers have been also killed, and 9 healthcare workers, ambulance staff, have also been killed. The total number of wounded is 1,835, including 27 healthcare workers. And we have 1 hospital was attacked, 2 primary healthcare centers, and 18 ambulances and fire engines. I think that our hospitals have been working almost continuously, trying to accommodate the wounded and trying to save their lives.
And is the hospital system coping? I mean, with that number of people coming in suddenly, it must be extremely difficult, and attacks on ambulances.
Well, what we have been trying to do, ever since the conflict started in Gaza, we've instigated a plan to be able to disseminate the patients across our hospital system. And we have been working very hard to transport patients from the hospitals on the front lines to hospitals in safer areas. And I think that we are barely coping. Some of the hospitals have reached full capacity. Remember that last week we've also had to deal with the casualties from 3 different attacks, and the total number of casualties has reached almost 5,000 casualties. Just to compare, in 2006, the war between Lebanon and Israel, the total number of casualties in that war was 10,000. We have reached almost half that number in a matter of 1 week.
That is fairly horrific. Now, of course, you're a member of the government. How does it feel there? A lot of comment about this is the beginning of a full-scale war, people expecting an actual Israeli invasion yet again. Is that how it feels? Are you worried about that prospect coming soon?
Well, I'm very worried, not only as a member of the government, but specifically as a health minister, because I know that our health system is under a lot of stress. We are facing multiple crises, financial crises and other crises as well. We're hosting almost 1.5 million Syrians. This is the equivalent of 1/3 of our population. And on top of that, we have now this war to deal with. At the beginning of last week, I think we started the week with some hope, because Mr. Blinken, the Secretary of State, was coming to the area, to the region, and there was talk about a push on the efforts to reach a diplomatic solution. But then on Tuesday, the indiscriminate attacks, using the detonated pagers, resulted in one of the largest number of daily casualties since the start of the war. And unfortunately, that was clearly an escalation that was followed with other attacks. And I think that all hopes on moving forward with some kind of a diplomatic solution were dashed.
Well, that's very sad to hear. Minister, we're all thinking of you and praying for you and your people. Thank you so much for talking to LBC tonight.